I think it's kind of fun to see, like, our businesses are very similar. If we have the supplements, it's very similar. It's kind of cool to see it coming from two different directions, because you're still in PT doing it.
Right.
And I'm in like the fitness.
But that guy, perfect example. I met that guy in the gym like 2 weeks ago.
Because of the way you look.
Yeah, 1,000%. He comes to me, he was like, hey, you work physical therapy? I'm like, yeah, man. He goes, you're a ProForm right next door? Yeah. Like, they don't even ask me if I own it. And the funny part is like, if you looked at my guy, Nick, he's like the model, the poster child for physical therapy. So when they come in here, they're like, oh, how long have you owned this place for? And I'm like, I'll sit there.
They ask him.
Oh, yeah.
They probably think you're the aide.
They think, yeah, exactly. I'm the help. You know what I mean?
He's
So,
PTA
yeah. Which is kind of funny, actually, because that's just the way it is, you know?
So for you then, as an entrepreneur, what are your biggest challenges?
Yeah.
And what are your biggest rewards?
I would say my biggest challenges, and I think we kind of talked about this a little bit before, is finding that work-life balance. You know, I'm at the point now in my business where I'm kind of trading time for money, you know, which took me a while to get to because I was so addicted to the money in the beginning. Like money, but success and growth. You know what I mean? So you get to the point where you're just like, all right, my goal is to just replace my income. And then you get there and you're like, let's go a little bit more, and then a little bit more, and then a little bit more, right? And then you just kind of just keep on getting stuck in this growth phase, which is fine.
So do you mean you're replacing time for money or money for time?
Well,
so like normally, meaning like when you first start a business, you have capital.
Right.
So you're trading all your time to get money.
That's right.
When you get more successful, you're trading your money
for time.
Yeah, right. Because you're paying other people to do it.
That's right.
Right.
That's right.
So like right now, my studio, I didn't go to my studio this morning. They were in the class.
Yep.
2 classes.
Yep.
Someone did a 101, and now there's classes tonight. And I was like, I won't be here.
That's right.
Right. Because I want to do this podcast.
That's right.
But yeah. So,
but that's to me, that's the definition of an entrepreneur, or maybe a business owner, right? Like if you're a business, I mean, I know there's different levels, right? There's like, you know, you have a job, right? And then you have like, you're at the business owner level, and then you're at the entrepreneur level, right? And I honestly think that you can't call yourself like a pure like entrepreneur until you're at the point where you can do what you just did, leave your business, and your business can run without you. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean? Otherwise, it's a job. You create a job for yourself.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And I think a lot of people kind of get stuck with that, you know, and they feel that they can't kind of move past that. Some of that's mentality, but some of that is like, you know, they actually physically can't do it because they might not be at that point or that stage of their business. But everybody wants to be an entrepreneur, but nobody knows what an entrepreneur actually is. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, they say it's pretty cool now as a YouTuber. Everybody
wants to have passive income, but nobody knows what passive income actually is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And I think that people don't understand, man. Like sometimes you question yourself, did I make the right move?
Totally. Yeah.
Right? It's like I left a steady paycheck.
That's right.
To do this, but I was at the point where, like, again, you have to be true to yourself. I was like, I will eat ramen noodles and open,
man,
right?
Yep.
Versus doing what I was doing, because I just knew the difference.
Yep.
So, and again, the reward is time, right? To be with your family.
That's right.
To close the
that's right. Time freedom.
Like, clinic down now, and to do something like this, and to reconnect with somebody from 15 years.
True.
You know what I'm saying?
Very
like,
true. Yes.
Listen, I just had the opportunity to reconnect with somebody I dated a year and a half ago, and under not good circumstances, not between us, but just life.
Yeah.
And it was really interesting for me to like see this person that I dated, was intimate with, like a year and a half later, and how much I have grown and how much he had grown.
Yeah.
Right. And it was like, we didn't miss a beat, just like this.
Cool.
Right. Like,
yeah,
I feel like we could have just come right out of FPT school and had a conversation. Not to this level.
Right.
But I really feel like that is like one of the rewards of having a business. I could just like, I'll drop everything and come over and see you right now.
That's right.
Right. And I couldn't do that if I was a PT.
Nope.
I couldn't go to the, you know, the services and stuff like that I need to go to. If I would have to get clearance. I'd have to, you know. And to have those moments with people, or even being responsible for a change in somebody's life. Now, we did that in PT, I get it, but that was so limited.
Yeah.
I see people in my studio for years, right? And to see,
not only being responsible for your patients, but your employees, right? Like, I have an employee that just had a baby, you know, just bought a house. Like, I have another employee that's looking to buy a house that's also having another baby. Like, it's cool, man. Like,
And you
in
give
this
that
business,
1 day maternity leave?
yeah, 1 day, yeah. You give them the ability to do that. Like you've provided them this opportunity so that they can provide for their family, so that they can, have this life that they have, right?
Do you believe that's like small business owners, they change the world?
I believe that's true.
Because without us,
Yeah, I believe that's true.
right, you don't have these independent experiences. Everything's
Right.
going to be clinical, right, corporate. You don't have the flavor of the person that's actually,
And the culture that we have here and the experience that we have here, like the flexibility that we have here, the relationship that we have here, like with my employees, like I try to have like this separation between boss and employee, but at the end of the day, like it's hard. Yeah, we're still friends. Like if something happened to you catastrophically, like next week, I'm going to be there for you. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just what it is. Like you're part of the family. You know what I mean? Yeah, do I go out with you guys all the time and hang out? No, I don't do any of that stuff. Like I don't need to be in those scenes, but I'm here for you. I'm supporting you. You know what I mean? So I think that's where the difference between like being a small business owner is and then being just a number at a big corporation, maybe, I don't know. I would question if you do make more money in a situation like this. I mean, my main PT makes more money here than he would make anywhere else. And I can guarantee that. I mean,
it's probably more laid back atmosphere.
very laid back,
Right.
Very laid back. I mean, he's seeing 32 to 35 patients a week. You know what I mean? Like 1 hour treatment sessions,
Sure.
minimal notes, So it's like, how do you beat that? Full benefits, you know what I mean? So, and that's something that I've decided to do for my employees because it's not only employee retention, but that's the culture that I wanted to have here because your business is only as good as your employees. Like whoever's answering that phone runs your business. That's what it is.
That's
like
20.
if you don't spend any time on your front desk, you're going to fail miserably. I'm sorry to say it's true. Like when we have people that call, if that person that answers the phone can't convert that patient on the schedule, you don't have a business.
So besides work-life balance, what's the
Yeah.
biggest challenge in the small business as a small business owner?
I would say, well, the biggest challenge for me has been I know we talked about the time, and the balance between work and life. That for me has been the biggest challenge. But I would also say that one of the biggest challenges too is just kind of staying motivated. You know what I mean? Just kind of every day waking up and being like, this is going to be the day, let's go. You know what I mean? Not letting all those or even if it's one negative experience, you can't let it drag you down. You know what I mean? Because you're going to have those days. You're going to have a bad day. It's just going to happen, right? How can you overcome that and just, make that bad day a great day? You know what I mean? Because if you come in and you're not a leader for your team's going to see it. They're going to notice it.
Do you think being a leader starts with fitness?
I believe that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. I believe a lot of things start with fitness. You know what I mean? And I know there's a saying, and I don't know if you know Bedros Keuilian, but like he's got this saying.
Body blue pin.
Yeah. He's got this saying where it's like, how you do anything is how you do everything. And I believe that's 1,000% true. Like if I'm in here early and I leave late, that's my deal. Like if I, take care of myself with the way I work out, if I take care of myself by the way that I eat, that's going to reflect in everything that I do. Everything.
I also believe it makes like a shield on you. You can deal with stress better.
1,000%.
Right? Like
Yeah.
if people are stressed out or they're depressed, like
Yeah.
go work out.
Yeah.
Right? I tell people in consultations, like if there was a pill that did everything exercise did for your mental health, your emotional, and your physical health, everybody on that pill.
Yeah.
They don't have that pill. They just have people like me with programs like this.
That's right.
And they, oh, right? Like
That's
so
right.
they don't always go, oh, but like that's true.
Yeah.
Right? Like I do not think you can live a fulfilled life without working out. I'm gonna say almost every day now.
Yeah.
Right? Because even I go and I'll do the elliptical, whatever, on my days off, just to get my head on straight.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep. It's my way of de-stressing. Like my wife is huge into yoga and she's big into meditation. Just can't do it. Actually, it was the other night. She was like, you just have to sit down and just do a 20-minute meditation. I was like, I can't do it. I just can't. Like, I'm not good at it. Yeah, maybe I could get good at it. Maybe that's me like having an excuse for not wanting to do it. But that's not the way that I deal with like stress. That's not the way that I calm. The way that I calm is I go next door and I work out. Like, and I think about nothing but my workout. You know what I mean? Like,
Can you be in the moment like that? That's one of the hardest things.
I can. And you know what the funny thing is? Like I used to work out here and I could never be in the moment because I would either hear the phone ring or I would hear somebody would come in downstairs and be like, oh, who was that? Like I have to be out of here. I have to be away from the environment in a different environment that is like just working out. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, I still have my phone on me, but it's, my staff makes not to bother. You know what I mean? So it's like, that is the way that I de-stress, you know, and I think that you just got to find that, whatever that is for you.
Yeah. So after reconnecting 15 years, like, I got one more question for you, but like, is there anything you have a podcast yourself?
Yeah.
Is there anything you wanted to ask me? Now, I don't ask usually people I'm interviewing.
Yeah.
But I'm interested to see like your perspective from where you are and the way I went. And 15 years later, here we are. Right? I'm great. I don't know how you're not. But
yeah, I know. So the key is you have to keep the hair short on the sides.
Oh, okay.
Because this is where I get gray. And if I grow up my beard, it gets a little gray. So
next podcast,
you got to keep it high and tight. That's it. No, man. Like I was telling you before, man. It's funny because I feel like people will always like follow like people, and I've always felt this like connection with you in terms of like the business side, even like not sexually. No, well, maybe. I don't know.
I'll take
business definitely. And I've noticed even when you first graduated, you were doing that whole jiu-jitsu thing with like, and then incorporating the fitness into it. You know what I mean? And I thought that was such a cool niche. And I'm like, I remember looking back then, like, man, Marc is just like crushing it. And this is back when I was in the insurance game before I even started my own business, because you've been doing this for a long time. You know, and I remember being like, man, I got to get on that level. You know what I mean? And that was that's like, so again, like you have to think about the people that you're motivating. You know what I mean? And you were definitely a motivator for me in the beginning, no doubt. You know what I mean? So yeah. But like you said, and you said it too, like you don't know who's like seeing your stuff, you know, but people are seeing your stuff. You know what I mean? They're seeing your growth. They're seeing your success, you know? But no, I think one question that I would ask you would be.
I'm not going to answer that. I was just wondering.
Oh, okay. Then I don't have a question for you.
Go ahead.
Yeah. I would say that like if there was anything that you could change when you first graduated school, what would it be?
I would have worked as a PT for a year or two.
Yeah.
And then we're right into my business.
See, I agree with you. That's what I would have done. I would have maybe done 3 years, not 7. I waited too long.
Yeah. So, and the reason I say that is because there's a learning curve that we couldn't learn in our generation.
Yeah.
Right. There was no programs where you could go online and learn from other people who done
1,000%.
Right. How to run a business, like what this means, what that means. And I love doing what I do, and I love this trajectory. And listen, don't get me wrong, having the doctorate and the knowledge of physical therapy school gives me a huge advantage. Yeah. Almost everybody I talk to in sales signs up.
Yeah.
Right? And part of that is the doctorate.
Right.
Right. So that I know when I was signing people up, I always think to myself, people said, like, what are you doing? And I was like, well, okay, I'm using this in a different capacity.
Yeah. Yeah.
But had I had that 5 extra years
to
learn about how to run the business and do all this stuff, right? I'd be expedited where I am now. Kids nowadays, the teens, like, listen, whether you want to learn how to talk to girls or like what really attracts girls, you can do that. What do you do with your money, right? Had I known what to do with my money when I was 3 years out of PT school, I'd have a lot more money than I have now.
Yep.
Right?
1,000%.
I probably wouldn't have bought my first BMW.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You know what? I didn't know. But there was no courses on that.
That's right.
Right? So you have that stuff. You have like, okay, cool. Like I'm thinking now, like if I was 16 in high school, okay, yeah, let me learn about like how to make money online. Let me learn how to make a funnel.
I feel like that's easier to do now.
100%
sure.
It is.
Yeah.
But we didn't have that opportunity.
We had no opportunity like that.
And honestly, if I had the access to knowledge that people have now. Now, knowledge is only useful if you use it.
That's right.
Right? There's you can learn anything you want.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I would have gone to PT school. I don't know if I would have gone to college.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, looking back on it now, I mean, obviously you're doing what you went to school for, no doubt. Like you can definitely apply that, and same with me. But I agree. I think nowadays, college is overrated. I think that you could have a great life and work in the trades better. Yeah. Yeah. I honestly, and I talk to so many kids that are like either in their last year of PT school or just graduating or have been out for a year. And their whole thing is like they want to start their own business, right? Or their own PT clinic. And my advice to them is like, go out in the trenches, man. You need to go out in the trenches. You need to experience patient care. You need to experience different patient care, but you also need to gain, like, whether you have a good mentor, you need to gain knowledge, because all these kids come out and think that they're just going to like open up this, clinic and then everybody's just going to flood in because people like you and I make it look like it's that easy, but it's not. People don't see what happens, the other 23 hours of the day, you know what I mean? That makes that, you know, come to fruition, right? But also people, when they come out of PT school and they go right to owning their own business, I think it's the biggest disservice you can do to your patients. Because not only are you not a good clinician, you're not even a good business owner.
Right.
So you need to not only get out, learn to be a clinician, and then once you open up your business, then you can start, you know, becoming a business owner. Because guess what? When you open up your own business, you have to be a business owner first and then a clinician second, sir. And if you don't do that, your business will fail.
Yeah.
It's just how it is.
And I was just listening to Alex Hormozi talk about branding.
Yeah.
And it's like what people associate with your brand. So like for you, it'd be like muscles, tattoos, mohawks,
1000%.
caring, knowledgeable, supplement, right? Well, if they're associating your brand with poor quality of service, shady business practices, and you might not want to do that.
Right.
No one's ever going.
That's right.
Because you just killed your reputation.
That's right.
One of the lines I use, and it's totally true. When we're doing the sales call, I'll be like, hey, listen, so just for transparency, my name's all over the business. So if my business sucks, my reputation sucks.
That's right.
And I don't want that.
That's right.
So I need to give you these 3 things so you can lose the fat and keep it all. And then you go in. And it's totally true.
Yes.
Right? And I mean, we're the highest rated fitness kickboxing supplement studio in Rhode Island. We have over 200 5-star reviews. Because I care.
That's right.
Right? Listen, and we tell people, like, the money you give me is not going to make me rich. It's not going to make me poor.
That's right.
But it can change your life.
That's right.
Right? So like, I would much rather change your life than you give me any amount of money.
Yep.
Right? Because at the end of the day, I'm not buying a Lambo with it.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
So,
but there are too many people out there that are trying to be somebody they're not, right? Like they see somebody doing this, they're like, I'm just going to copy this person and be this person. You know what I mean? And I tell people all the time, it's like, listen, if you want to be that person that has the muscles and has the tattoos and has the vulva, you be that person, but make sure that's the person you are. You know what I mean? Because people can see it. Yeah, they can smell it. You know what I mean? So if you're not being genuine and you're trying to be somebody you're not, pretty obvious nowadays. You know what I mean? People get it. You know?
Yeah. So for you, my last question. So if you could look into our main camera, because we get a expensive production studio that I brought. I don't know why he's laughing. I don't know. 3 cameras here. I don't think Wheel of Fortune has this many cameras.
No, you're right. You're right.
So like somebody wants to change their life.
Yes.
They're not what they want to be. What does Dr. Chad tell them? How do they start changing their life?
If you want to start changing your life today, the one thing that I would do is, well, first of all, you have to find a direction. You know what I mean? How do you want to do that? Right? Like, what's your goal? You know, is your goal, I want to lose more weight? Is my goal, I want to be a better husband, a better father? You know, what's your goal? Right? And then you need to find somebody that can get you. You know what I mean? You need to find whether it's a coach, whether it's a physical therapist, whether it's, you know, a martial artist, whoever it is, like that person can get you there, but you have to put your trust in that person. You know what I mean? You can't do it on your own. You know what I mean? You need to ask for help.
Yeah.
So
I think that's great advice.
Yeah.
And this is why most people don't lose weight.
That's right.
Alone.
That's right. Yeah.
There's tons of free things on YouTube.
Yeah.
But you need that coach because you know
you're accountable.
You need to be accountable. And we know you're going to hit roadblocks.
That's right.
So it's easy to be like, Chad, just do this. And you're like, oh, okay.
Yes.
Right? Like, and move on. And I think the biggest thing is, again, decide where you want to go.
Right.
And then take massive action to get there.
Yes.
And don't be afraid if you fail.
That's right.
Because like, obviously we know
failure is all part of success, man. If you always succeed and you never fail, the day that you fail is going to be a bad day.
I also think too, like, and I talk about like grappling it. I've never gotten tapped out.
Right.
Like, how do I learn?
That's right.
Right.
We don't call them failures anymore. We call them successes and lessons. So it's not a failure, it's a lesson. You know what I mean? So just learn from whatever happens and make it better the next time. Make sure it doesn't happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, Chad, I thoroughly enjoyed this.
Yeah, absolutely. Me too, man.
So what we do, some dry needling now?
Yeah, let's go. Let's do some dry needling. Where do you want to do it? That's the question.
I pick any area.
Any area you want.
Are you sure?
Yeah.